Okay, I'm back. This is the last page. I'm like 90% sure I haven't done this one yet. But yeah, so here we go. Prepare for the exam. And so that last one was the selection process, steps 1 through 11. Um, the fact that they have all the information there tells you a lot about where they're coming from on this stuff. And so, yeah, all the information's there. It's detailed. There's 11 steps there to even get through the selection process. That's before you're even considered for the job. You have to make it through steps 1 through 11. But to prepare for the exam, which on here is step 3. Step 3 is take the written exam. So this would go on 3. Remember our little thing, our 1 out of 3. Well, this is going to go to that. This is going to go to that decision-making capacity because it happens to be number 3 on the selection process. And our 1 out of 3 was, I'd have to look at the video. 1 out of 3. I can't remember what 1 out of 3 was. I just remember that there is a 1 out of 3 and that it's a structural piece of information. That's all I remember. That's all I remember. And the 1 out of 3, so in this case, you would have to remember 1 is, you wouldn't have to remember, you would just have to remember that this is 3. And there would have to be a relationship between all these, a known relationship between 1, 2, and 3, and you only have 3. That would make this here. This right here, boom. Actually, this would just be, we just have additional information on 3, but there's no 1 out of 3. You just have the 3 there. It would only be 1 out of 3 if we knew what these other 2 were, and you have additional information on, and you prove that 1 through 3 are related and 1 through 3 aren't related to 4 through 11. In that case, you would have a 1 out of 3. But since you don't have that, this isn't 1 out of 3. We just still have 1/3, and we don't even know what it is. So actually, it's an unknown. That could be an add-on to 1/3, 1/3 unknown. And I can use all of that, run a Google search, just for the hell of it, 1/3 unknown. Boom, I used it. There it is. Or no, let's keep building onto it. Let's see what we have by the end of the day. Let's see if we can get some kind of like weird prediction or something based off of this fraction. That's the type of shit that I'm doing. That's what keeps me advancing forward in these areas, is the fact that I'll do that shit. I'll take some stupid information that's not stupid, but could appear stupid if you're, say, working a regular job doing this or that. You're like, what the hell is that? That's not even anything. But actually, in my eyes, I see a lot of potential out of it. But yeah, so this wouldn't be 1/3, but this is additional information for step 3, which is take the written exam. Prepare for the exam. The Foreign Service Officer Written Examination is a multiple choice test. It measures knowledge and skills gained over an extended period of time. The exam will have 3 sections as well as the written essay segment and will likely test the following: job-related knowledge section, knowledge of the historical antecedents of international affairs to aid understanding of foreign governments and societies, knowledge of world geography to understand the geographic context of foreign relations and U.S. foreign policy, knowledge of major events, institutions, and movements in the history of the United States to facilitate understanding the U.S. system of government, knowledge of the history of U.S. intellectual, artistic, and cultural life to interpret U.S. cultural life for foreign nationals, knowledge of social, cultural, political, and economic trends in the U.S., knowledge of the U.S. political process and its impact on policy, knowledge of the U.S. Constitution and the structure of the U.S. government, knowledge of U.S. economic systems, their institutions, and philosophical principles to aid in interpreting U.S. policies and actions to foreign nationals, knowledge of the U.S. educational system, knowledge of the basic principles of economics, knowledge of major contemporary international economic and commercial issues to understand the impact of economic conditions on the host country and on U.S. programs and policy interests, knowledge of foreign political systems, English expression section. This section, this section of the examination measures knowledge of correct grammar, organization, spelling, and punctuation, which would be required for writing reports and for editing the written work of others. In addition, it tests the ability to express ideas clearly and accurately, to correct sentences, and to read with comprehension. The writing exercises measure the use of complete sentences, appropriate tense agreement between parts of a sentence, noun, verb, noun, pronoun, sentence joining, coordination, subordination, and modification, shift in focus with sentence structural parallel structures and expressions, idiomatic usage of language, conventions of usage, economy and clarity of expression, recognition of correctly written sentences, biographical inventory. This section measures the candidate's skills and experience and achievements in school, employment, and other activities. Okay, so looks like the exam, preparing for the exam is knowing the sections. That's what they say preparing for the exam is knowing the sections. And there's a job related section, English expression section, biographical inventory. What I would have done in this section is prepare for the exam. I would have immediately practice questions rather than having these. So that will tell you what this is right here. This is more than just that. It's incorrect, and so it's not good that it's incorrect. They know that they should do that when you prepare for an exam. For example, the first question I would say is name the three branches of the U.S. government. Question two, what are the required components of a correct sentence? Question three, how do you think your current experience makes you a viable candidate for the for becoming foreign service officer? That would be prepare for the exam. This is something different. But you get the idea. What it does is it basically gives you a template of where to start. It gives you a template where to start. And so the labor portion is placed onto the individual is what they're doing. They're placing the labor onto the individual, which is fine, but they don't say that. So that's the part that isn't fine. That's the part that isn't fine because they don't state that that's what they're doing. They're giving you the areas for you to go seek out. You don't know why you're going to seek out the information. They don't tell you that. So that's not a good part to this, in my opinion. But what is a good part is they give you a whole wide range of things that you can go look at. So that's the part that is good. That you can go look at these things. Doesn't mean it's going to be a success, but you can try to research the stuff, look at it. They give you all the stuff that you can go look at. And in my eyes, this is all stuff that I like. So for me, I like looking at this stuff. As you guys know, I have knowledge of this stuff. I have current accessible knowledge on a lot of this stuff. I know how the government works. I know the structures. I know what the structure is for. Um, Basic stuff. Now, doing it, I wish I could do it. I can't do it. It's probably a lot different when you're working in it than it is to just know the information. But somebody has to know the information. So that's an important thing that I gathered from this right here is somebody has to have this information. Um, Otherwise, it doesn't exist. Um, it could be on the internet, yeah, but if nobody looks it up, nobody ever seeks out the information, then it doesn't exist. Even if it is somewhere accessible on the internet, which, as we know, we can do anything. Any information is available. We know that. And so the question becomes, why do you hold information um, until you get that information? You're not going to do anything because we don't have the correct answer as to why somebody would have to hold the information. Since nobody has told us that, you're not going to see a lot coming from here, which I've already told you. That's perfectly fine with me. That's fine with me. I don't have to do anything. I like not doing anything. In fact, I encourage people, if you can, to close your eyes and just be silent for as long as possible. And you can do it forever, and you'll find that doing that compared to opening your eyes and attempting to do something, although you may be suffering in your current state with your eyes closed and being silent, you're still doing less work. It's still less work than picking up a laptop, turning the laptop on, and you're still going to be suffering there, and you're still working. So yeah, although you're still suffering with your eyes closed, you're doing less work. Work is comes from dead people. Work comes from dead people. Work is sick. I don't like work. I hate work. People work from their experience with dead. That's what I. That's what I think. Work emanates from the dead. It's of the dead. I'm not dead. I'm fucking living. I'm immortal, Bigga Bubba. I'm straight boogieing down records out here. I ain't doing none of that weak ass shit. Hell no. I'm a fucking gangster. But around these parts, we get shit done. We do shit. We're out there fucking negotiating shit, interacting with motherfuckers on a daily basis, in your face, every single day, conducting transactions at the store, purchasing whatever we can purchase with our money, going to buy a soda from the store, going to the library, going to the post office, going to the park, saying hi to people, um, walking around, walking here, walking there. We're actually doing shit. We're not sitting here behind a computer looking up porn all day, looking up pictures of women's pussies, looking at imagining how their pussies smell. No, we're actually out there. We're actually doing shit. We're actually working. We're actually interacting with people. We're actually making real things happen. That's how the world turns. That's really how the world operates, is through these real life interactions. The greater world that exists starts on an individual level, starts at the convenience store, starts with purchasing that fountain drink of soda, starts with purchasing that piece of candy, that piece of chocolate, starts with purchasing a bus pass to go on a hike, at some foreign place that you've never been before. That's how these greater movements that you see on TV occur. That's where they start at. Everything starts at the bottom level, and that's what we're out here doing. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I found this whole thing really interesting in my eyes because I had gathered all the information to pursue a career path. At what point in time did that change? I would say because we have a date here, it's 2006. I would say that changed. I wouldn't say it ever changed because although I went into finance and business here, as you can see, business is a preferred degree. I went in something more high speed finance, which I felt was going to make me even more competitive in these areas because I want to become the ambassador or even just the deputy ambassador. That's fine with me. I'll be deputy ambassador. But I went into a more high speed. I decided to go into a more high speed version of business because I view it as being superior. I view it as superior. That's why I chose finance. Is because I thought it was superior and because it's going to give me a more cutting edge in this area. Now, as you guys know, I haven't finished my degree, but I finished my last semester by submitting a medical waiver and disenrolling early because I was sick and basically starving. Because I was sick and because I was starving, I had to submit a medical waiver to my school, which they accepted the medical waiver. They disenrolled me. Everybody was paid. The post 9/11 GI Bill paid for all of my stuff, which they were paying for my schooling. The post 9/11 GI Bill, which, as you guys know, came from former President Obama. He enacted the post 9/11 GI Bill, which basically allowed me to go to school. And so, because I submitted the medical waiver, the post 9/11 GI Bill still paid for that last semester, even though I disenrolled early. Now, remember, the reason why I disenrolled early was because I was starving and I was sick. There was no way I could continue going to school. I was starving and I was sick. So I had to disenroll from school. I was forced to disenroll from school. I did not want to disenroll from school. I wanted to continue going to school. And so after reading this, I don't see anything that would disqualify me, even at this point in time, applying for this position. As it looks right now, I could still go do this at this point in time without the degree. Based off of what I just read, nothing stuck out that says that I'm disqualified without having a degree, with having charges that I have. Now they say that they do background checks and all that stuff. So that may be iffy. So that's the only one that's iffy, but I would still say that, yeah, you could apply here, safely apply, and have a chance to get in. And so, this stuff, after come to find out, this stuff is still relevant. Um, and what did I say? When did it all change? It became irrelevant. The reason why it became irrelevant is because I was starving, I was sick, I disenrolled from my classes, and then boom, I get into a car accident, a car crash. The car crash I get into, the I wasn't whatchamacallit, I didn't have any drugs in my vehicle. And they tested my blood without me saying they could test my blood. And they found drugs in my system and they gave me a DUI for it. At that point, that's when it became irrelevant, is because of that. I didn't have any drugs in my car. It was snowing outside. It was winter. It was nighttime. They put a needle into my skin. Mind you, when I wake up on the table, they're threatening my life. They're threatening to kill me. I'm handcuffed to the bed, and they're threatening my life at that point in time. That's when it became irrelevant. That's when this career path became irrelevant, because I still believe in the United States. I believe in the story that was told to me when I was first born, and it puts that stuff at risk if that stuff is happening. That these people are threatening my life. They stuck a needle into my arm without me saying they could, and all of that. That puts all of that at risk. So that's why I say this became irrelevant. But as it stands right now, I could still apply for this and be perfectly okay. I could probably get the job. I could probably get a foreign service job, maybe. I doubt it, because they're going to look at, I could still apply, but I doubt I'm going to get the job, because they don't need the help. They don't need the help because they don't advertise that they need the help. And secondly, because there's hundreds of thousands of kids in college and universities right now that are being treated really good. They have everything they need. They have a dorm. They have their pleasures are being fulfilled. They have all their pencils and all their stuff to complete their work. The United States government has their labor supply pool is abundant. So I don't think I would get the job. I don't think I would get the job. But I could apply for it. What I want to do, though, is, I could still get back into school and finish my degree. That's going to keep this stuff in place. So I'm going to actually hold on to this stuff, because I think I could still become a foreign service officer. I think I could still do it. Since I think I could still do it, I'm going to hold on to this folder, and until the next time comes around, we'll see what the verdict is then. But as it stands right now, I think I could still land it. And all of that. And secondly, I really want to work for the State Department. I really want to have that job. I want that job so freaking bad. So because of that, I'm going to hang on to it for a little bit longer. We'll see where it goes. Either way, my interests remain the same. My interests, my pursuits are going to remain the same no matter what. Whether I'm a foreign service officer or whether I'm here working at a local restaurant, I'm still going to drink alcohol if I want to. I'm still going to do a line of cocaine if I wanted to. I'm still going to pursue high sees high stakes pursuits no matter what position I'm in. And those aren't going to be evident to my employer if it's something that they may not approve of, then I'm still going to do it. I'm going to keep it from them. I'm going to maintain degrees of separation that they're going to not know about it. They're not going to think otherwise about it, but I'm still going to be the same person I've always been. That's the type of person that no matter where I'm at, I'm still going to be that person. And that's the beauty behind me hiring somebody like me, is I'm going to do my job, something I really want to do, a foreign service officer. But you can be assured that I'm still going to pursue high stakes pursuits on my own, on a personal level. I'm going to pursue high stakes things no matter what. And I'm going to make sure, if it's an employer, yeah, they probably not these type of people. They're probably not these type of people. Let's not do this. Let's go to the work party dressed in a different type of suit, and all of this and that. That's the type of person I've always been. And so that's the benefit of hiring somebody like me. And also that's the danger of not hiring somebody like me. That's the danger of going against me. That's what you're facing. Those are the odds you're facing. That was the first section here. As you guys can see, boom, this file on the tab says Department of State. We went through all these. We read through all these. Here's the second one. This is unnamed, but we have couple different files in here. We have this, and then we have this. These are in this. We're in this. So, looks like I wanted to take extra care in these pieces of paper. It looks like, based on this, I wanted these to last a long time. These are fragile, and I wanted these to last as long as this folder was going to last. And so this is equal to the folder. This is a box inside of a box, except for this box is the same size as this box. This box is the exact same as this box, but I just brought this out of this box. How could that be possible? The way that could be possible is the box folds in, it folds and it folds out and turns into a box. How that's achieved is a totally different story. How that's achieved is a totally different story, but we do know that these two boxes are the same, and that's the way that I figured that these two are both the same box, and this one came out of this box, but they're the same size box. That's how it happened. This was a foldable one, and it just unfolded. That's how that happened. And so with that, what that means is, what's the other stuff? Well, we know the two purposes of these. We know the purpose of this, so we can infer reasonably that that's the same purpose of this. This is to protect something that's fragile. This isn't to protect this, but this protects something that's fragile. And so what's fragile? What's fragile in here is unknown. We don't know what's fragile. We don't know what's fragile, but we do know this protects something that's fragile. So does this folder. This folder protects something that's fragile, but also at the same time, this was holding something. This too was holding something, but this was holding something that's fragile. This is holding something that's fragile and something that's not fragile. But these two are the same, so this is holding something that's fragile and not fragile. And that's as far as we got with that. So we're going to identify what's fragile and what isn't fragile. All right, so here, let's what these are, everybody. I know what these are. I don't have to read, I mean, I don't even have to really zoom into these to know what they are. I know what they are. I've been in and out of this folder a lot. But before we get into what they are, let's cut this off. We're at 31 minutes. It's 10:48. Lunch is at 11:30 still. These are going to be used for a measure. These measures are related to CDs. We're going to grab those right now. The measures don't mean the same thing. We just know that we have two different measures. When I say that what I'm reading is a measure, it's another measure because our primary measure is at fault right now. So we have another measure. When I said that, it reminded me of another thing that we measured, that we used to measure something. We don't know what it was used to measure. We don't care. We don't care because what we care about is we can make this connection. I can make this connection. I can also make a connection by running to the post office, which is 5 miles down the road and 5 miles back. I can also make that connection, and I can make this connection as well. And so, boom, we now have another job immediately following this. I already know what I'm going to do with this, and we're going to do it right on here. We're going to do it on here too. So it's going to make it even that much more fun. We're going to have like 10 videos by the time we're done here. So that's cool. Hell yeah. That's dope as fuck. So anyways, you guys will see this later. Let's get back to this. We're going to cut off before we figure out this thing here real quick. You know, right before your very eyes. Recognize you fuck with me, your endeavors are going to be fruitless because I'm still going to be standing. I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing. That's how you know your endeavors, your attempts to kill me, to kill the person I am. You should be ashamed. You're not, because you're God. You're a God. Don't worry, we got something for that too. So that's how you're gonna know it's fruitless. What was I saying? You know you're gonna be your things are fruitless because I'm still gonna be doing what I'm doing, and I forgot what I was saying. But I'm gonna cut off here, guys. And then we'll get into what this is.